How do we sound? Audio okay? Good morning, good morning. I think we just went live here. We sound all right? Can I get an audio check? Just setting up everything on my end here. Good. Thank you for that. Thank you, Christian. It's real early here still. It's 7:30. Just about opening here. We'll see what happens in the next minute. It's always weird to say the first few words of the day. Like, I just realized I hadn't talked yet today. That's always kind of weird. First few words are on a live stream. That's like, we're definitely in the future. All right. Just about to open here in about less than a minute. AMC is up just about 1% after hours over the course of the whole weekend. GameStop, though, looks like we just opened. GameStop's up 14% from closing Friday. We'll see if there's any real action here, buy or sell action. Just for a few minutes now that the market just opened up. Good morning, everyone. Grab your coffees. Got a lot of green over here. It's just to start off the day. We have pinned on the side a bunch of very common stocks that people like to look at. Sundial Growers, Nokia, Express, Silver Shares Trust, HCMC. AMC has a little bit of a sell-off here, it looks like, right on opening. GameStop, it's really too early to tell what exactly is going to happen, but let's go to the 1 minute breakdown. Had some buying right up into opening there. That was on GameStop. AMC's down 2%. Looks like there might have been some people just trying to cut their losses right at market open here. So we'll see what happens in the next few minutes. GameStop's 15% open or so is pretty much wiped out. But the first hour is always a pretty wild ride. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. We shall see. I'll keep it on here for the first few minutes of the day. Well, it's real chaotic. Bitcoin up 12.5% to 43,000. Wow. BlackBerry up 4.9%. Wow, the volume is crazy how much less there is for BlackBerry compared to AMC or GameStop. Sundial Growers, right around 1% up. A lot of people have been talking about Sundial Growers, at least in these live streams. Nokia up to about 2% so far for the day. This Silver Shares Trust up about 2%. AMC down about 3%. That's except for Express, we only got 2 negatives. Yeah, let's check here. We'll add it to the watch list. So we have Zomedica down here, up 13% for the day. Here, I'll move it up a little higher on the list. That way, there we go. Zomedica right there. I mean, now out of this group, that one's doing the best so far for the day. Nice little buy rally here. Oh, here we go. There, now we have some people buying shares of AMC. So we saw a little sell-off right at open. Let's see. Yep, GameStop is the same. A lot of times they pretty much move together. There's a lot of conspiracy. Like, why do these prices always move together? This has to be institutional buying and selling. I personally just don't think it's as deep as that. I just think it's because the same hype are around both of these stocks, AMC and GameStop. It's same buyers, or at least the same intentions from buyers, so they just go in line. Bunch of buying going on. These candles are 1 minute intervals, so we can see in the last 4 minutes we had some buying going on here. So right here you can see we had 6 million in volume on that first minute. This is on AMC. The volume shows right up top there. The second minute, 1.3 million in volume. Then we have 1.3, 800,000, 800,000. So judging by this, well, we had some sell-off here. But it won't take a few more minutes of this upswing to at least break even on the day. There you go. This one's up 11%. Therapeutics, MD. GameStop now at 5% for the day. Issen's asking if GME is a buy today. I mean, I can't tell you for certain. I'm not your financial advisor or your mom, but we can go over to Reddit and see what exactly they have to say about buying GameStop today now that it's down. Let's see. Oh, this was kind of cool. There was a Super Bowl commercial from Reddit. It was like 5 seconds long, I guess. But it just talks about what the communities on Reddit can accomplish, and it kind of talks about WallStreetBets a little bit. It was pretty interesting. Let me make it a little bit bigger if you care to read it. You can see, who knows, maybe it'll be the reason why finance textbooks have to add a chapter on tendies. Here we go, diamond hands. Let's see here. WallStreetBets founder sells his life story to film production studio owned by Brett Ratner. We'll cover this later, the synthetic longs. Oh, look at that. Let's see here. What actually happened with GameStop? All you people saying things like the squeeze happened, you missed it, don't gamble on stocks, the bag holders were the greedy ones, people with no experience trading shouldn't have bought GME, blah, 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 blah. GME went from $40 to a peak of $483 within a week. The biggest shorter got bailed out for $2.75 billion because of how bad their position was. WallStreetBets was getting national coverage. The sub went from 2 million to 8 million subscribers. There were 60 million shares shorted going into Thursday, and at its all-time high would have cost a staggering $29 billion to buy back, less whatever they were shorted at. That's not even counting the price going up by doing so. So this person says, no, the squeeze didn't happen. There was some form of squeeze. Now the question is there going to be another squeeze? And I think the likelihood is on AMC at this point to see a skyrocket in price compared to GameStop. But the road it doesn't necessarily have to be over for either of them. It literally just depends on how many people are willing to buy and hold their shares and how many shares are, bought and hold. Let's see here. Yeah, there was a Robinhood commercial on the Super Bowl. We have a few more articles here I wanted to take a look at. Welcome everyone joining in. Stock conversion allows China's Wanda Group to sell AMC shares after retail trading frenzy. So China's Wanda Group, the major shareholder in AMC Entertainment Holdings, conducted a share conversion to permit sales of its stock in the cinema operator, a target of the recent WallStreetBets frenzy. So they converted its Class B common stock in AMC to Class A shares on February 1st in order to permit sales of its common stock. We don't know yet how much stock was converted or how much was sold, it says, if there was any sold. That'd be really interesting to see if they're still holding, because this is one of the larger shareholders of AMC. And if they were still holding, that would just be one more reason to hold as an individual shareholder, but we just don't know yet. Let's check out this. It was an intriguing title. Should Amazon or Netflix try to acquire AMC in 2021? Every week, Bazinga conducts a survey to collect sentiment on what traders are most excited about, interested in, or thinking about as they manage and build their personal portfolios. This week, we posed the following question to over 1,000 traders and investors regarding Amazon, Netflix, and AMC Entertainment. Should one of those buy AMC? Okay. So it looks like they reported last summer how Bank of America securities analyst Nat Schindler said a theater buyout made sense, and Amazon may not be the only tech company interested. I suppose why not have a theater chain, maybe a futuristic kind of tech-savvy theater chain, because they have all of these releases both on Amazon and Netflix. They're paying $100 million into producing some of these movies, so you might as well throw them in some theaters as well, earn those ticket prices on top of the Amazon and Netflix memberships. Schindler said Amazon and Netflix may be looking to take advantage of depressed theater valuations to follow the omni-channel blueprint of Amazon's buyout of grocery store chain Whole Foods. For market share context, AMC is not only the largest theater chain by locations in the U.S., but also the largest in the world. Following the recent under-herald wave of retail investor interest in AMC amid the Reddit rally and subsequent fall back to earth, it's high time to ask the question once again, does it make sense for Amazon or Netflix to move into physical theater space? For starters, AMC shares trading around $7 for a corresponding market cap of $2.32 billion, along with an enterprise value of $11.35 billion. This valuation is a pittance for either of the FANG tech giants. Yeah, that's true. Just buying it with stock, they could so easily do that. It wouldn't even really make a bump. So it can be said that the financial risk to either Amazon or Netflix of an AMC merger and acquisition would be minimal at worst, with market caps of $1.69 trillion and $2.44 billion, or $244 billion respectively. So really, it would come down to the question of, do they feel like it's worth? Is it worth the time? Is a $2 to $5 billion purchase price of AMC worth, a few $100 million in additional revenue every single year? There'd have to be a bigger play, I think. They would have to do some back of the office math to have a way to see it be more valuable, I think. Let's see. GameStop's meteoric gains have almost entirely disappeared. Here's advice for those who didn't get out in time. Now, I haven't seen this article yet, so we'll see if it's for or against or what exactly is going on here. As the chart shows, the short squeeze worked until it didn't. Momentum fizzled after Reddit and other brokerages limited access in trading to GameStop and other securities that were surging in popularity. As to why, there will be congressional hearings to find out the culprit, hedge funds, or good old-fashioned margin requirements, but the end result is the same. GameStop may still have its moments. As for what comes next, GME will be insanely volatile for weeks and even months. That means 50% and 100% moves in both directions. Yeah, I could back up that with a fair certainty that we can pretty certainly say that this isn't the bottom for either of these stocks, because the craze is still there. There's so many bag holders, if you will, who are still in on these investments, and the hype isn't necessarily gone. I think we're still going to see some wild swings with both of these stocks. It's just really a matter of, will there be a true squeeze? So here's Zaiden's advice. I'm not sure who that is. For those who still have money left in the market, there's no reason to ride this all the way to the dirt, this person says. Cash in on what you have left. Now, of course, there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who say the exact opposite, but I suppose it's still good to see both sides of the opinion spectrum here. I'm still holding my AMC stock. I have 306 shares or something like that, and I have 1 share of GameStop, so I might as well just hold that, Oh yeah, music. Let me turn some music on here so we can have some nice little background music. Bear with me for 1 second here. Un momento, getting some music pulled up. Now, let me know if this sounds okay volume-wise, if there's any static or anything like that. Just for some background tunes. How's that sound? All right, jumping back over to the stock ticker here, AMC taking some heat in the last short period. Big sell-off. Volume is fairly high too. Wow. GameStop lost pretty much all of its off hours gain down to about 1 to 1.5, almost 2% now, up for the day. BlackBerry up 5% right now. Sundial up 2%. This Therapeutics MD, which I haven't really researched into this. We just tagged this on the side here, up 9% on the day. Finvolution up 7.4%. Zomedica up 13%. But AMC is just really taking a beating right now. Yeah, the official information is released tomorrow on the short percentages. Let's see exactly what time it's released. See if we can find out. NASDAQ. I wonder if it's like a midnight kind of thing. Or if we even know. So the short interest percentage just tells us how many shares are short of the company. So it's called short interest, but you can think of it as percentage of shares shorted. Now there's ranges all over the place with this. Up as high as 220%, down as low as 35%. Any number after the dissemination date, after the date of reporting, this happens twice a month in the New York Stock Exchange, which is tomorrow. Any short interest percentage or quote after that date is an estimate. Now it can be a very accurate estimate, based on a lot of data, but they are estimates nevertheless. I don't know what time it's reported. We know it's reported tomorrow. After 4 p.m., someone says. Yeah, so it might be after market close. I haven't seen anything. Haven't seen anything quite yet. We'll go back to that. Still down 6.8%. It's time for a sip of coffee. That's what I think. All right, let's check out. We got an article request on Motley Fool. Let's see what we got here. Well, this is the third one down. Robinhood has a new most held stock, and it's not Apple or Tesla. Most investors aren't big fans of heightened periods of volatility, but that's not the case for millennial and novice investors, as evidenced by online investing app Robinhood. Last year, Robinhood picked up about 3 million users. That's notable given the average age of its users is only 31. Robinhood's commission-free trades, fractional share investing, and gift of free shares of stock to new members have worked effectively to lure young investors. Also, if you don't like Robinhood, you can check out my pinned comment there, and you can get 2 free stocks with Webull. You'll get about $30 worth of free stocks at least, and as high as like $1,600. I've seen a few people get a couple $100, but it's not common, but you'll at least get $30 worth of free stocks. While it's fantastic to see young people putting their money to work in the world's greatest wealth creator, many Robinhood users fail to understand the importance of long-term investing. As a result, the platform's leaderboard, the 100 most held stocks, primarily filled with penny stocks and less than desirable momentum plays. So I'm saying usually the most held stock is a solid company, that being Apple, Tesla Motors, Ford. I have a few Ford shares. Here's the stock that dethroned Apple, AMC Entertainment. Look at that. I mean, I'm not very surprised because it's tons of people who wanted to get in on the short squeeze action, and it was the cheaper one to get in. So you're on the commission-free app with the cheaper stock to try and do the craze short squeeze for young people on the young people's platform. So I mean, this can't be a surprise. This kind of means a good thing for anyone holding AMC that this is the most held stock. I mean, that's literally what we need to do in order to squeeze the stock, is to just buy and hold it. So if anything, this is a good piece of news for anyone pushing for the squeeze. If the name rings a bell, it's probably because AMC is the sidekick to GameStop in the Reddit-based retail investor rally we've witnessed in recent weeks. Both GameStop and AMC have high levels of short interest, which is the percentage of shares shorted, i.e. investors who want to see their share price fall. Knowing this, retail investors on WallStreetBets investing chat room on Reddit banded together to buy shares and out-of-the-money call options on both companies. In AMC's case, it pushed shares of the company higher by a cool 525% in January. As noted earlier, Robinhood users love momentum stocks. The interest in AMC has been partially sparked by the company securing $917 million in funding in late January. It raised $506 million between mid-December and late January by issuing common stock and secured another $411 million through debt capital. With the coronavirus disease pandemic closing movie theaters or significantly reducing foot traffic, this capital infusion will allow AMC to make it through the winter. Plus, I'm pretty sure they've opened their theaters back up, at least with limited capacity. So if you're out there and you want to support AMC, go and watch a movie. Let's not forget that prior to being the apple of the day, traders and retail being the apple of the day the apple of day traders and retail investors, AMC was practically on the edge of bankruptcy. The only way it was able to avoid bankruptcy was to add debt and issue a boatload of dilutive shares. It's worth noting that AMC's recent share price surge has the company considering another share offering to raise additional capital. I mean, to be honest, to the management, if they need to erase some more debt, they really just should do that. AMC's core operating model also looks seriously flawed in two respects. First, it's unclear when the COVID-19 pandemic is going to abate. The recent rally in AMC stock would suggest that the current vaccination campaign will go off without a hitch. Well, we know that's not exactly happening. I think something like 30 or 40% of all the vaccines that are available have been administered, so there's some real logistical issues going on there as well. However, surveys suggest otherwise, with a recent Kaiser Family Foundation poll showing that close to half of all the respondents are in wait-and-see mode or simply don't want the vaccine. The other major issue is that movie theaters' monopoly of new films may be coming to an abrupt end. Yeah, that's a legitimate concern, that people are just watching movies in their living room, but I think that there still will be people who want to have the experience of going to a movie. This was an interesting article. Let's see what this one was. It says these are two growth stocks. So it's just saying GameStop and AMC, they saw a lot of attention, but here are two growth stocks that they're talking about. So they're saying buying shares in Amazon and Netflix will deliver superior returns in the long run, which of course we can't know for sure. Also, I'd be willing, I'm sure the P/E ratios on both of these are extremely high. So I'm not sure about actual real cash flowing returns, because we can't forget that the price of both of these companies has skyrocketed. So I'm not sure how accurate that is. Let's go back over to this for a bit. Let's see here. AMC down 8.3%, $6.27. So the Roxy Blues says she can't get into her Robinhood. Anyone else having that issue? Anyone having an issue getting into Robinhood or purchasing shares or anything like that? If it falls below $6, is it dead? No, it's really no different than where we're at right now, if we're being completely honest. And we'll see what the actual short interest comes out to be tomorrow, that might be after close. I'll have to do some more research on that, when exactly we can expect short interest. Yeah, I think once the fear of the pandemic quells a little bit too, we'll just see more and more people going back to theaters, because there's big groups of people who just don't want to go anywhere right now. But I still think, even considering that, there's a lot of people who would absolutely go to the theater without any major concerns. People are going to comedy shows and things like that. Let's see here. There was something I wanted to search. Google short interest report release time. I kind of tried that, but let's try again. Oh, there you go. Thank you for that. Finra requires firms to report short interest positions in all customer and proprietary accounts in all equity securities twice a month. All short interest positions must be reported by 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the second business day after the reporting settlement date. So the reporting settlement date, though, is the 9th. So 6 p.m. 2 days later would be 6 p.m. on the 11th. Thursday. Oh, this is NASDAQ. Pretty sure. NASDAQ again. New York Stock Exchange. So, member firms that have short positions in OTC equity securities, let's see, must file a short position report with Finra via the web-based system. The application will accept filings for the current reporting period as of 8 a.m. Eastern on the business day following the designated settlement date. So this one says you have until 8 a.m. on the following day after the settlement date. So if the reporting date is the 9th, based on this, we would know by open on the 10th. The problem with these reporting dates is you could dramatically change your position after reporting, and then we just simply wouldn't know what the short interest is for another 2 weeks. Like, short interest could be really low, they report it, and then they short a whole bunch of shares, so no one knows for 2 weeks, except for, estimations based on other data. Sorry if you just did a super chat, I missed it. SVGE. Down 10%. Oh man. Let's just see how far down my my AMC my AMC stocks are. I'm sure this is nothing compared to a few of you watching, but let's just see. Because I still haven't sold. I'm down $1,366.74 on my AMC stock. That's not good. That is not good at all. Wouldn't the shorts have to cover their positions in order to be less short? Yeah, they would. They would have to cover at least some of their position. Yeah. So on the side here, you can see buy and sell orders. Green is buy, red is sell. Every once in a while, you'll see a real significant buy or sell order, 10,000 shares or something like that. GameStop basically flat for the day, which comes out as a winner between the GameStop AMC, the battle we have here. A lot of other things are doing okay today. So if you happen to jump into one of these other stocks. Man, 11%, almost 12%. Let's check out Dogecoin's price. I like the graph on Yahoo Finance for Dogecoin. Wow, looks like we had a little rally here. I actually didn't even know this jumped up. I just know a lot of people have been talking about it. So this is the 1 month view. From around 1 penny, it's gone up to about 8.3 cents. I mean, we have an 8 to 10x increase in the last month. So anyone who hopped onto this meme stock, this is mostly due to Elon, I feel like. Wow. Are there any articles on this? Dogecoin smoked its all-time high after Snoop Dogg becomes Snoop Doge. This is wild. I have a buddy who made like 5 or 6 grand in one day. I think it was like a Thursday or Friday that it really popped off. Made like 5 or 6 grand in like a couple hours here and sold out and see ya. Bitcoin had a real rally too. Back up to $43,000. Look at that spike. This is one day. This is the one day view. Jumped up from 39,800 to 43,000 in the blink of an eye. It's insane. We got to figure out what's going on here. Oh, that's what's going on. Tesla buys $1.5 billion in Bitcoin. Well, jeez, okay. We'll accept Bitcoin as payment soon. What about Dogecoin, though, Elon? Tesla has acquired around $1.5 billion in Bitcoin under an investment policy as the electric car maker headed by Elon Musk and it plans to begin accepting the digital currency as payment for vehicles soon. The California company revealed the new strategy in a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission early Monday, saying its investment in digital currency and other alternative reserve assets may grow. Bitcoin spiked 14% and appeared to briefly hit a new all-time high. Shares of Tesla moved higher as well. In its fourth quarter earnings report last month, Tesla had said it had cash and cash equivalents of $19.4 billion. Palo Alto-based Tesla reported its first annual net profit in 2020, but once again, the company needed regulatory credits purchased by other automakers in order to achieve it. Without $1.58 billion in credits for the year, Tesla would have lost money. In a year that saw the stock soar to make it the world's most valuable automaker, Tesla earned $721 million, capped by a $270 million profit in the fourth quarter. It was the company's 6th straight quarterly net profit after years of mostly losses. I mean, that's kind of impressive that they are even profiting at this point, especially with the crazy expansion that they're doing. Critics say Tesla's sales and profits are puny compared with established automakers such as Toyota and General Motors, and its huge valuation is not justified by financial fundamentals. The thing is, people love this stock, they buy it, and they just hold it. And that's why it's so high in price. And if no one sells it, it's just not going to go down. Tesla faces challenges this year from traditional automakers, which are rolling out more electric vehicles. Tesla's meteoric stock price has generated big payoffs for Musk, making him one of the world's richest people. Isn't he number one now, or did Bezos let's see. Oh, Bezos passed him again. Interesting. Bezos at a measly $193.6 billion. After giving like his ex-wife took like $50 billion, still the richest guy in the world. Wow. feel like Warren Buffett has just been floating right around 90 billion forever now. Or we're seeing all these other people really skyrocket. Bill Gates just can't even spend his money on charity fast enough to bring his net worth down. So that's real interesting. $1.5 billion in Bitcoin. And they turned 1.5 billion. It went up, I think it's up 11% right now. Let's see how much they made in one morning. They're up 11%. They made $165 million this morning. Not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, AMC's kind of ruining my portfolio right now too. Everything is basically green in my portfolio except for AMC. It's so red. GameStop down 5.5%. Yikes. Down, Jesus, almost 12%. Let's see the minute by minute basis. I don't know if the loss is due to lowered interest, people just trying to cut their losses, and they're, you just assume, all right, well, I'm down 50%. Might as well just be done with it. I mean, I kind of feel like at this point, I'm down 50%. How much worse is it going to get? There's a big 10,000 sell order. Man. GameStop down 7% for the day. Still at 59 bucks a share. Now you could look at this as a good thing and say buy the dip. I know it's becoming harder and harder to have that sentiment. BlackBerry up 1.4%. Therapeutics MD up 12%. Nokia up 1.5%. Oh, this Zomedica has gone up crazy amount this morning. Let's see. Up 25% this morning. It's up like an additional 10 since we were just looking at it. So whoever told me to pin that, hopefully you were holding a little bit of shares on that one. Looks like it's just going even higher. HCMC up 18.75%. I mean, this one for the last month, it's got to be up. Let's check out the 1 month view. Went from, I mean, it's such a small. Five or six times its price a month ago. teetering right around $6 a share now. I mean, at this point, we can't be that far off from pre-squeeze prices. You know, we were down as, I guess we were down as low as $2 to $3. So now we're at 6. Either way, we're going to have to see quite the rally to at least, to even break even at this point. We're going to need to see quite the rally. AMC is going to fly when the WallStreetBets movie comes out. Yeah, that's probably true. Probably go up 10% at least. They should have some kind of exclusive partnership or something like that with AMC. Oh, the music, the playlist probably ended. Here, let me put on another playlist. Let's see here. Let's try Chill Out Lounge. We'll see how this playlist is. It's a good tune. Man, down 4.3%. All right, let's not look at this for a little bit. Check out some more articles here. Oh, we were just looking at this. Reddit's 5-second Super Bowl ad. This was the ad. It's kind of cool. Let's check out has the squeeze been Squoze.com. Oh, that's not what we... Where was it? Is the squeeze? Is the squeeze Squoze? Yeah, that's what it is. So according to this, short interest. Okay, let's see. This is for GameStop, by the way. Short interest is 49.77% of the float is by S3 short site. If you are interested in more on short interest data, check out my interview with the head of data analytics at S3. It's a very informative interview on how exactly these calculations work and you know, opinions from a legitimate expert on short sales, short interest. But anyways, 49% of the float, which means 49.77% of the total available shares that any investor could potentially purchase or own, are currently shorted with GameStop. Per S3 short site, 53% of the float by Ortex, which is another data management company. Now the public borrow rate is 4.47%, which is how much it costs to borrow shares for shorters. We saw this, I guess it was as high as 30% at one point, so extremely expensive to short shares at the very peak of the prices that we saw so far. But a lower short interest, a lower borrow rate is good for us, hoping that there's a squeeze, because it just means that more shorters will hop in because it's not as expensive as it used to be. Shorts have stopped exiting their positions and are maintaining a level of short interest of about 50% of float. For the first time in a while, new shares are available to borrow for retail traders to short, and borrow rates are low. How often is this site updated? As often as the data is updated. Typically, this is daily before market open. Is the squeeze ever going to be Squoze? Possibly. At this point, most short interest is held by people who own the stock during the peak, who are not losing money now that its price is reduced. That's a good point. What we saw is this crowd of people who are shorting the company. The price goes up. Both you could say this for either AMC or GameStop. A bunch of shorters. The price goes up. The available shares to short was extremely low because the amount of shares shorted was so high. So this price goes up, and a few of the people who were shorting, or institutions who were shorting, cover their shorts, and that increases the available amount of shares to short, and now the price is high, so then other shorters jump on and the price goes down. But now we're in a situation where the shorters who jumped on when the price is high are now still in a good range because the price has dropped so much from when the point when they shorted. So like using AMC as an example, let's say the price went from $3 up to, I know it went to about $20 at one point, but let's say $15. It goes up to $15. Some of the existing shorters cover their shorts. They get out of their positions. Now there's available shares there. Other shorters hop on because they're thinking, $15, it's going to go down from here. And then it does go down from here. So they have a big margin where they're not losing money, and they're just sitting there on their shorts. So if we see a situation where additional people are like this, additional institutions are like, okay, well, the squeeze is over. Let me get in and short this for the last couple dollars. We could see the short interest jump up by a good margin, which may enable, another kind of squeeze, but only time can tell, of course. As of right now, we're down 14.7%. GameStop down 7%. Time for some more coffee. Hello, everyone who is now just joining the stream. If you're new here, make sure you're subscribed for all things finance news, stock news, analyses that could make you money. Make sure you're subscribed for all that. I think we're just about to 160,000 subscribers, like right on the edge there. Oh yeah, we're only 70 subscribers away. So if you wouldn't mind subscribing, I would appreciate that so much. We're just about to break 160,000. How am I so chilled yet drinking coffee? The key to this is just drink coffee all day. For those who've been watching my streams in the last week, I pretty much just have this next to me the whole day. Necessary requirement, I guess, if we're gonna get stuff done all day long. It's a bit of an addiction. One sec. I drank or I quit caffeine for an entire month one time. Hardest thing I've ever quit by far. The first like 3-4 days were terrible. It was okay after that, but it was the only thing I've ever quit where like on the 30-day mark, I was like, okay, I gotta get back into this caffeine. This is nonsense without caffeine. And I've tried out quitting lots of different things. Like I've done like the carnivore diet for an entire month. I've done challenges where, you know, I work 10 hours a day for 50 days straight. All these different challenges, and caffeine was the hardest by far, at least for me. .5%. A little bit of buying going on, but we're going to have to see a lot of bit of buying if we want to see this turn around. Regular drip coffee or any specific routine? Well, I had a nice, like, I guess kind of nice Ninja coffee maker, and the power supply got wet on the counter and it just shorted and it died. So now I'm using like a real cheap Mr. Coffee just for the time being until I decide to go all in on a coffee maker. I just don't know what kind to buy because I use it every single day. But yeah, it's just drip coffee. I'm not really picky about the brand or anything like that. No sparkling water. I didn't get any from the grocery store this week, unfortunately. Thank you, Ram BB. I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, a lot of people talk about the French press. A lot of people talk about cold brew. Part of my problem, I just want it to be as easy as possible. You know, I just want to press a button and be on my way. Because in the mornings, I'm just like, I'm slow to rise. So I just want everything in place and just be able to grab my stuff and get to work. Still have some buying here. A lot of volume, actually. Let's see. I guess a decent amount of volume comparatively. So it looks like the first hour trading frenzy might be over and we might see a little bit of a rally here. This is actually right on the hour. 3.5 million in volume. Some buying pressure. I mean, now we're at like dirt cheap prices. So there was a buy for 11,000. We might see some institutional buyers hopping in on this. I mean, $6 a share. This thing I think has been well into the 30s in the past. Yeah, we're on AMC. In the last 5 years, what is this peak? 32.74. That makes, oh, I gotta scroll. So the peak up here, 32.74-ish, give or take a little bit. It makes this little spike we've seen look like nothing. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this is just going to be like an odd blip, I feel like. Like, oh, what happened there for 2 days? Just hopefully we see another, you know, spike up. That's an interesting difference between this one and GameStop. Because GameStop's prices, I mean, there are prices that were never even close to seen before. Just insanity. You know, they've been in the $20-ish range before, looks like. Maybe 28 at its high. And just shot up. That makes me feel a little bit more confident about just AMC relative, just value-wise for the company, but only time can tell. A lot with GameStop, I know a lot of people are in it for the long term too. You know, a lot of it is just a bet on the management. Can the management really do what they say they want to do with becoming this one-stop shop for all things gaming and this online source for all things gaming? I mean, maybe. They definitely have the brand recognition. If not already, they do now. Let's see if the Fidelity. See what it was for Friday. Was it this? Yeah, okay. So here we have the buy to sell ratios as of close on Friday. And interestingly enough, Fidelity is is one of the larger holders of GameStop, I believe. But anyways, buy to sell ratio on Friday, 52 to 48, and AMC 50-50 split. So that's down from about 60% the day before. But as you can see, like with this one being 50-50, the sell orders must have been much larger orders, because despite being 50-50 buy to sell, we went down 12%. So the people buying in must have been people just buying the dip. They got a little bit more cash, let's buy in. And then people selling were probably, selling large chunks just to get out of their position. Let's check out Neo. Neo's up 2.5% for the day. Now, I know a lot of people have hopped in on Neo in the last year or so. I mean, it's surged 1,100%. The problem with trying to value something like this is without earnings, it's really hard to value. So you're just basing value off of potential future earnings. So you're basing it off of things like the competence of management, the maybe patents they might hold, strategic partnerships they might have, the quality of potential future products they might have. So it really becomes harder to value a company that doesn't have earnings, like, consistent cash flows. So whether this is a good buy long term or not really just, is anyone's guess at this point. Down 12.3%. Okay, I'm going to check my emails here real quick. If you have a good article or something that we should go over on this stream, you can email it to me at maxmahershow@gmail.com. Let's see. So this says Bloomberg report shows a very high percent short interest now. Let's see. Change in short interest position plus 33.5 as of 1/31/21. Now, of course, this is even a few days old. Yeah, I mean, it would sure be interesting to see where the exact short interest lands after the reporting tomorrow. I'll be really curious to see how close the S3 insights are to the actual short interest. I have a feeling they're going to be pretty close, within 5-10%. Let's see here. Here we have a Reddit post on that Bloomberg terminal we were just looking at. Statistical cold hard facts. My previous post got removed. I have access to a Bloomberg terminal with up-to-date data as of February 5th on institutional holdings. Institutions currently hold 177% of the float. I thought it said the 31st though on there, didn't it? So let's see here. It says 131. Oh, comparing stats against 131. Sorry, it's up 33% according to this. Now, this 177%, if it was S3 reporting that, because they filter out the synthetic longs that are created with short positions, it probably would be like an S3 of 60% of the actual float of physical shares shorted. But let's see. In cases where reported institutional ownership exceeds 100%, actual institutional ownership would need to be already very high. While somewhat imprecise, arriving at this conclusion helps investors to determine the degree of the potential impact that institutional purchases and sales could have on a company's stock overall. I have plausible evidence that leads me to believe there are still shorts who have not covered, and there are also shorts who have entered greedily at prices that could still trigger a short squeeze event as the knife has been falling. Yeah, that's what I talked about with Ehor, a little bit of S3 Insights, that when that price went really high for GameStop or AMC, some shorts covered because they're like, okay, we can't lose any more money. But then other shorts hop on there because they're like, oh, the price is high, it's going to fall. So 1 million shares of GameStop were borrowed this Friday at 10 a.m. and a short attack occurred that dropped GameStop from 95 to 70 over the course of 15 minutes. This is my short source for live borrowed shares data that you can watch during market hours. Let's see this. I'm interested to see this. So we still meet the first requirement for a short squeeze to even be possible. There are a lot of short positions taken in GameStop still. I mean, no matter which figures you're going off of, even the lowest figures for short interest on GameStop or AMC, it's still a ton of short positions, even at the lowest end. So I'm really not super concerned about that. But on the highest end of the spectrum, of course, the odds are even higher or even greater that there could be a potential short squeeze. The ultimate question is, will there be enough demand to drown the supply, or are we going to let the wolf in sheep's clothing, aka Citadel, who we know is behind not only these short positions, bailing them out and purchasing puts themselves, but behind many brokerages who ultimately manipulated the supply-demand chain by removing buying? Are we really going to let this happen? This, of course, this person's opinion. Institutions move the markets before retail before retailers, unfortunately, especially when order flows go directly through Citadel. But this is very interesting, the amount of OTM calls weeks out compared to puts. This is options expiring 3/12/21, and all the earlier expiration dates are also heavy in OTM calls. Max Payne theory states, I wish that was my middle name, Payne. Max Payne theory states that it's in the market maker's best interest, those who write options, aka Theta Gang, for price to gravitate towards Max Payne as the strike price when the most open contracts, including puts and calls, would cause financial losses for the largest number of option holders at expiration. With this heavy volume abundant in OTM calls, a gamma squeeze can occur if we can get the market makers to hedge against their options. Look at what triggered the explosive movement as price blasted past the Max Payne strike last week. I believe this caused many bears to have to take a long position as a way to hedge against their losses. As of right now, we are very close and gravitating towards Max Payne strike. If there is a catalyst/company event that can cause demand to increase, I believe GME is not dead for all the aforementioned reasons above. All right, let's see what this is. Pull me off. Max Payne historical data. Let's see. Nomura violated short interest reporting requirements. Finra fined them $500,000. They didn't report short interest reports. How many shares? 885 million. That's not even a penny a share for the fine of not disclosing short interest positions property. When did this happen? December 2019. But I guess it goes to show that the penalties on the institutional side for not reporting these isn't very high, if we're being totally honest. So you could read this and it lead you to believe that that there could be bad actors and they're not really worried about the consequence because, I mean, what's a $300,000 fine to a company that's worth billions and has billions on the line? Let's see this. Or the shares.com. I've seen a few people reference this. Basically the failed to delivers for GameStop. We've read through this before, but if you're interested, it's wheretheshares.com. So that was a pretty good one. Let's see what other emails we have here to cover. If you have any good articles or videos to cover on AMC or GME, feel free to email those to me at maxmahershow@gmail.com. Let's see here, we got a video to take a look at. So this is on, I haven't seen this yet, but it's on the psychology of AMC and GameStop. We'll see what exactly this has to say. I gotta pause the music here real quick.
I'm never taking advice from this page again. I lost everything on GameStop.
All right, let's check this out.
Because I do this full time, it's my passion. I'm trying to get you as much value as you can. So personally, guys, this is what I see happening in the GameStop stock. We do see the bull market and the bear market oscillations with optimism, euphoria, despair, and back to optimism. This is a general cycle of bull market, bear market. And this is exactly what happened at GameStop in about a month. So the crazy thing is we can back this up with comments, posts, YouTube videos to show you the proof on this and overlay this on GameStop to hopefully tell you when this bottom comes in. Because at this moment, guys, we aren't in the bull market anymore. Unfortunately, if you think we are, you're in the denial section, pessimism, or even panic section. Once we get to the bottom though, the capitulation section, that's where nobody's going to care about GameStop. And that's where the greatest opportunity will lie. And we'll try to figure out where that is. But first off, here's GameStop on the chart. You can see the uptrend here, bull market, clear bull market. The top in the bull market, very apparent, and then the downside. Once you drop 80% in the stock price, guess what, guys? You're in a bear market. If you drop 20% in the stock price, you're in a bear market. So this stock rose 10%, 20%, 100% in single days. So this stock honestly is too volatile for me to trade. I'm not buying it, not holding it, I'm not selling it, not doing anything. I don't have to land the train tracks to have a good time. I can still make money on plenty of other good stocks which don't move as much, which present good opportunities. But at some moment, there might be a great opportunity in GameStop. That's why I'm following it. That's why I'm trying to see what's happening in the stock levels. So again, traders, please pay attention to this because we're going to go over the bull market, bear market scenario to give you the full overview on GameStop. So here it is right here. And the last portion here, as you can see, the panic section, it's pretty close to the capitulation section, which is pretty close to the bottom, the end of the bear market. So the good news is, traders, we are heading down, but we are almost bottoming. We don't know when it's going to come in, but if you keep following us, following the journey, we'll hopefully tell you the exact.
I mean, I can't imagine the price. Well, the price isn't going to bottom out lower than $3 because we were already there before any of this craze. You know, but I guess $3 would probably be the very worst case scenario, which is still 50% down from where we're at right now. But more likely, I guess I would say, if it were to bottom out further, you know, we're talking $4.50, $5, I suppose.
Bottom for this stock, because I think we can time it exactly like we did with Bitcoin at $3,000 just 2 years ago. Option entry and exits straight to your phone, 7 days for free, link in the bio. So again, we have optimism, enthusiasm, exhilaration, euphoria, and then the downside, unease, denial, pessimism. So the upside's important to talk about, and the downside. We're going to overview all of that right now. Number one being optimism. This is where you have that uptrend where you have the thesis on the stock you're buying and it starts to become correct, because at that moment you start to make money and then people start to get excited. This is where WallStreetBets went for a stock that was highly shorted. It was a genius idea because the short float was over 100%. I don't know how that happens, but all that means is that you really can't short anymore, which also means that they really can't sell this stock.
It happens because the synthetic longs that are created when you create a short, that's how it's more than 100%.
So if there's no sellers in the stock and just straight buyers, this is where the stock can be capitulated, short squeezed to the moon, like it happened for WallStreetBets with GameStop, $4 all the way to $400, $500. So that was a genius plan, but that was just the beginning, this optimism section, where we went from $4 to about 40. The enthusiasm section is where more people get in. So let's talk about that, enthusiasm. At that moment, people say this is just the beginning. We hit $60. We're going to hit 200. We're going to hit 500. We're going to hit 1,000. That enthusiasm section is where people see other people make money and they start to get jealous. They don't jump in yet. They just start to think about it. They start seeing it going up more, and that's where more and more people jump in. This is the just beginning moment where the watchers, the people who trade every day, are starting to get in. Then we get into exhilaration. This is where the stock just goes up 100%, 200% in a day. People get excited, and now we're starting to draw in the dumb money. This is your friends, your neighbors, the plumber, the people who don't watch the stock market, the people that text you saying, should I buy GameStop? This is awesome. I can make money so easily. Exhilaration is the easy money mode. And then euphoria is where everybody hops in the whole entire world at the very worst moment. So exhilaration also looks like this. When we're rubbing it into Wall Street, GameStop, Reddit is taking down Wall Street. I saw a bunch of people posting these videos. Unfortunately, guys, the truth is it wasn't just Reddit taking down Wall Street. There was other algorithms, other institutions buying in on the uptrend. They are programmed to buy momentum plays, and this was a clear momentum play, $4 to 500. So algorithms were buying this up too. It wasn't just Wall Street. It wasn't just you guys. So I'm curious, guys, why haven't you grabbed my free option trading course in the link in the bio? At this euphoric moment where we think we won, that's the biggest time where you lose money. So I'm going to tell you this, guys. The biggest lesson I've learned in the stock market, the one thing you want to take away from this video is when you think you beat the stock market, when you think you won, when you think the game is over, I'm going to be a millionaire, multi-millionaire overnight, that's when you lose the most money. And that euphoric moment, that I think I won moment, was shown everywhere. We saw in Times Square, they bought time on the billboard to put on GameStop going burr on Times Square. People were flying planes with banners on the back that said "F-U Robinhood" or "WallStreetBets, we're taking you down." So this was the moment, the rub it in your face moment, the at the market top moment that led the institutions to play the game now just a little bit better. So what did they do? They started banning the platforms for trading certain stocks, limiting the amount you could sell, taking out options, etc. So at that moment, the institutions played the game a little bit better, tried to take as much money as they could from the top. At that moment, we started to see uneven.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more data in here too, but we'll at least give it a shot. It's more a psychology of the trades analysis.
Happen. That's when over here you start to see the market not go up again. So GameStop was not moving higher. It was actually starting to move lower and make its first red candle for the day, closing at the lows. The next day, closing at the lows over here. So the unease moment is when people are still kind of buying in, but now they have this concept of, I'm buying GameStop at 300, 200, I'm holding. I want to be part of this plan. I want to be part of the WallStreetBets taking down institutions story. I want to be part of this forever. And then those people, they see unease happen when their stock's down 10%, 20%, but they're still holding strong. Diamond hands. The problem with diamond hands traders is nobody has diamond hands. Everybody has a price threshold that they're going to get out at, and that selling pressure is going to lead the stock into the bottom, lead the stock into the bear market. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So this idea of holding is irresponsible, guys. We have to pay for our mortgages. We have to pay for our houses. We have to pay our bills. Holding doesn't make millionaires. And if you're getting into the stock market to just hold with no reason to make money, no idea of what you're going to do if it drops, no idea what you're going to do if it goes up, this idea of just holding is dumb. And the worst part is most people that say they're holding will not. Holding is not cool when you're down 50%. Holding isn't cool when you start to lose 80% of your value. So holding is only fun when you're making money. So this idea of holding is very binary. And again, it's completely irresponsible because people need to pay their bills. They don't need to follow some stock that could go up 1,000% next week. That's a lottery ticket. And the stock market is an easy way to make money if you know what you're doing. Holding index funds is smart.
Yep, I wish I had my mic. Wish I had my mic on for that. Anyways, what I was saying was to counter his point. Holding is emotional only if it's emotional. It can be emotional. It can be factual. So yes, it's emotional if you're just holding for the sake of other people saying, hey, dude, you should hold, or your portfolio's down, so you're just kind of like, well, whatever, I'm just going to hold for the sake of it. But if you're holding because you see some underlying financials or fundamentals or some outlook that, you've done your due diligence to find that, that we might see a major increase, then of course that's not emotional. That's based on whatever logic that you're using to value the stock at a later date. So of course, if this is becoming a financial burden or you've kind of hopped into this and you don't really know what's going on, then maybe you want to decide whether to hop out and do a little bit more research before you hop in again and make smarter decisions next time. Or if you've looked at all the data and you're like, hey, I still think there's an opportunity here, then it's not emotional to hold. Let's just finish this out real quick.
Smart. Holding dividend stocks is smart, but just holding these short squeeze stocks that are already up 2,000%, probably not a good idea. So I'm here to help you protect your capital, not throw it away and burn it. If you want to do that, just go to the casino, go pick up a lottery ticket. But at that moment of unease, we start to see the next phase, denial. That's when people start to say things that when an article comes out that says people are going from GameStop to silver, they're selling their money, going into something else, and then people on Reddit say, don't listen to them. This is them trying to take focus out of GameStop. So denial is exactly that. So let's go back to the chart. So denial is over here when the stock has dropped, let's say 50% from the highs, and you think it's got another leg up, you think it can keep running. But if it's clearly trending down and the stock is getting beaten, nobody's taking focus out of you guys buying the stock. The stock is literally dropping and more people are selling it off. So that's the perfect example of denial. When the stock is doing exactly opposite of what you want to do and you think that the articles are trying to take focus out of the stock. The focus was gone days ago, hours ago, and you're just in denial, unfortunately. So now let's talk about pessimism. This is the ugly part. Like we said, pessimism is where you cross the white threshold of $160 for GameStop. This is the exact level I think that the stock starts getting sold off on for many people. Like I said earlier, that threshold is where more and more people hit their mental stop loss. So you thought it was cool to buy the stock at 300. You don't think it's cool to hold it at 150 though. You don't think it's cool to hold it at 80. At that point, a lot of people are hitting their mental stop losses and they're getting out. They're saying F you to Reddit.
Let me know if the static is any better. I'm having some ground issues here that if I can't fix it during the stream, I'll have it fixed for the next one. Also, I can't move my screen from the bottom right in the middle of a stream, unfortunately.
F you to all these Facebook pages for getting me in this stock. F you to Market Moves for posting a video on this stock going to 1,000. I see all these comments. People are saying party's over. People are saying still waiting on your apology video. Keep dreaming. Do you think it's going to go up? Do you think it's going to go up? Nice analysis. It's at 50 bucks. Listen, guys, this stock is only contingent on you buying it for it to go up. Right now, the short interest is still close to 100%, which means you really can't short this stock, which means the only people selling are you and the institutions. So the reason this stock is going down is you're selling and the algorithmic institutions. So those institutions that push it up with you are also selling and creating your selling. So this capitulation of selling is going to lead to the bottom eventually, but all these comments I'm seeing is telling me we hit the top. It's not cool to hold GameStop anymore. A lot of people think it's dreaming for the stock to go up. They don't know if it's going to go up. They're getting nervous asking me. So at this moment, people are starting to feel despair. They're starting to feel pessimism. And next, we're going to see panic. I don't think we're at panic yet. We might have hit a certain threshold of panic, but
I don't know. What do we think? Are we at panic yet? We're definitely seeing a lot of denial, despair. You know, the change in feeling just in these live streams in the last week has flipped. 180 from everyone. All in. Let's buy the dip to, people jumping in and saying you guys don't know what you're doing. Who knows what's going to be right in the end? But if we see an upswing. That definitely means we've all been through the pit of despair together here.
This stock is still being bought up. It's still being purchased by a lot of people at the $60, $70 range. I'm going to predict the next leg down in GameStop. There's a gap down to 50, 40 bucks. And from there, we're going to see panic selling. So panic selling is going to lead us maybe to 30, maybe to 20, but I don't think.
All right. Well, it's always good to have other perspectives. This was Market Moves, Matt Giano. So if you like his stuff, make sure you go and subscribe and support him. Market Moves on YouTube. Let's go back over here for a bit. See how we're doing. AMC down 11%. GameStop down 4.6%. Kind of a bit of a sell-off here. Yeah, I mean, I've got to be down at least 50% on AMC. Let's see. AMC, I'm down 44.4%. And I bought my shares around like 1080-ish. I have in 2 brokerage accounts, so it's, I don't know the exact calculation, but somewhere around 1080 per share. Yeah, there's only buzzing when I'm playing media for some reason. There's something up with the connection between the audio on the computer and my switchboard here. It's sometimes I can fix it, sometimes I can't midstream, but I'm going to have someone look at it later on today when we're done with the stream and have everything set up so there's no more buzzing and the quality's a little bit higher. Everything's out. It's just a little bit harder to make the quality high on a live stream versus a normal video. All right, let me see. What other emails we have here? Someone asks, on Tuesday when we received the report, how do we calculate if hedge funds covered their short interest or their short positions? I mean, we'll be able to see if the short interest goes up or down, and to just see the total short percentage compared to the float. But, you know, on a hedge fund by hedge fund basis, I don't think that's publicly available. I don't think short positions are publicly available. So we don't really know who is shorting what unless they disclose that. Yeah, so with my computer volume, going back to the static issue, it's really low. It's at 14 out of 100. Here, let's see if there's any static. Let me know if there's any static. No static? Perfect, perfect. Very faint. Okay, cool. Alrighty. And then the music stops. So let me start a new playlist here. Let's try this. ISO Indies. Lo-fi music to watch your AMC stock go down 11% too. I mean, someone says Doge confuses me. Dogecoin, Bitcoin makes more sense, but Doge has a much different model. What is Dogecoin's model? Like, is there actually good technology behind Dogecoin? Let's find out. Let's see. Dogecoin didn't become as massively successful as the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum, though it succeeded in quickly developing a community of enthusiasts. The currency also made a 300% jump in its value into 72 hours of its launch. When was this written? Oh, it was just written. Okay. So introduced back in December 2013 as a joke, Dogecoin has so far been a lesser-known cryptocurrency when compared to Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin. It was developed by IBM software engineer Billy Marcus and Adobe engineer Jackson Palmer, and as a new decentralized cryptocurrency for peer-to-peer transactions. Instead of choosing a fancy currency symbol, Marcus and Palmer decided to go with Japanese dog breed Shiba Inu and as the branding for Dogecoin, which has already become very popular online because of the Doge meme. The odd branding, however, provided some distinction over other cryptocurrencies. I just wonder, like, what's their tech compared to, you know, like a Bitcoin or a Ethereum? Like, does it actually compare? Similar to other cryptocurrencies, including Litecoin and Lucky Coin, Dogecoin uses password-based script technology. This makes it different from Bitcoin that uses SHA-256 encryption. Interestingly, Elon Musk, who has brought Dogecoin into the news, has been one of the supporters of Bitcoin. The 49-year-old entrepreneur last week tweeted, "Bitcoin is a good thing." He also changed his Twitter bio to #Bitcoin and said that he was late to the party in supporting the cryptocurrency. That development that led Bitcoin surgeons over $38,000, as now it's like $43,000. Why is it in the news? Shortly after supporting Bitcoin, Elon Musk moved to Dogecoin. He initially tweeted Doge, followed by saying Dogecoin is the people's crypto. That led to over 50% growth in the cryptocurrency and brought it to headlines across lending media outlets. Tesla and SpaceX CEO Musk once again tweeted about Dogecoin on Monday. This time, the coin reached its record growth, crossing 8 cents. Can we get like a Dogecoin tech comparison or something like that? Let's see here. The meme that somehow became a real cryptocurrency. It's June 22nd, 2014. Jackson Palmer, a self-identified average geek, is high in the stands at a NASCAR race in the Sonoma Raceway in California. He's an Australian man in his 20s. He has zero interest in racing. Never in his wildest dreams did he imagine it would come to this. Okay, let's see the tag. So Dogecoin is a cryptocurrency, a form of digital money that, much like Bitcoin, enables peer-to-peer transactions across a decentralized network. One important difference between Bitcoin is the original blockchain proof of concept. Bitcoin is groundbreaking. Bitcoin is, some believe, world-changing tech with the potential to transform how money works in the 21st century. Dogecoin is a digital coin with a picture of a dog on it. It's a puzzle to me why Dogecoin is so highly valued, says Adrian Lee, a senior finance lecturer at the University of Technology in Sydney. I mean, Elon Musk said it best. It's just interesting and it's funny, you know? At one point, Dogecoin was worth $2 billion. Now it's worth much more. Dogecoin is an easily replicable coin. I don't know how it distinguishes itself from Bitcoin. I really think it has to do with being established early. This person doesn't understand jokes. So Control F Bitcoin. When Palmer didn't immediately respond to Marcus's offer to help build Dogecoin, he started working on it anyway. Dogecoin, says Marcus, from that it seems like it's funny to actually doing it took about 3 hours. It's almost trivial to create a new cryptocurrency. It was a find and replace job. Control F Bitcoin, replace with Dogecoin. Marcus freely admits to finding large chunks of Bitcoin's source code completely incomprehensible, but knew enough to change a few core elements for Dogecoin. Wow, so this guy basically just found the scripts for Bitcoin, didn't even fully understand everything, knew enough just to change some components, and boom, Dogecoin was born. Now he's probably made millions of dollars off of it. For example, Marcus created 100 billion Dogecoins as opposed to Bitcoin's 21 million and made them easier to mine. Dogecoin is already close to being mined out, while Bitcoin's final coin will be mined in 2140. He changed the font to Comic Sans, of course, and changed every mention of the word mine to dig, because dogs don't mine, they dig. Wow. This is maybe the greatest meme ever. Pre-mining, the act of gathering cryptocurrency before launching a coin, is into the public domain. Almost everyone serious about launching a cryptocurrency does this, but Marcus and Palmer didn't pre-mine any Dogecoin because they weren't serious about launching a cryptocurrency. We thought it was a big joke that would die off. According to Marcus, Palmer wasn't even sure how to mine a cryptocurrency. Marcus had a relatively powerful gaming PC with 2 graphics cards, so he was officially the first person to mine Dogecoin. But given the nature of mining, which gets increasingly difficult as the currency is mined, Billy's computer was no longer powerful enough to mine Dogecoin after about 5 minutes. Marcus split what he'd mined 50-50 with his partner. Both got about $5,000 worth of Dogecoin, and that's all the Dogecoin either man would ever own. Wonder what that turned into. In later crypto articles, Dogecoin became popular very quickly. Forum threads moved rapidly. The name Dogecoin echoed through dark corners of the internet. But Reddit was almost certainly the main driver of Dogecoin's rapid rise into crypto. Let's see. January 2014, Jackson Palmer's already 3 drinks deep at his trivia night at his local pub in Sydney. His phone starts to buzz. Let's see here. I raised $25,000. Really want to know how much they made off of it. Here's someone who turned $3,000 into $90,000 on Dogecoin. Like I said earlier, I have a buddy who made about $5,000 in one afternoon with it last week. AMC still down more than 10%. GameStop still down 5%. My weekend was pretty good. Just spent it working though. Putting together some videos and things like that. Oh, we are one subscriber away from 160,000. So if one of you wants to subscribe, you'll be the 160,000th subscriber. I have 1,000 contracts on AMC February 12th, $20. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you because I don't want to make any assumptions as to what's going to happen by February 12th. You know, this might be a bit of a process. You know, it might take a couple weeks to really see a swing in this, if we do see a swing in it. HCMC is, I have it on here somewhere. Holy, up 80% today? Holy smokes. This thing blew up today. I mean, the price is so small, so I guess 80% isn't as crazy as like a GameStop going up 80%, but still. That's wild. Let's look into HCMC, and because I keep getting mentions of this, but I'm really not familiar with the company. Sale of $5 million worth of preferred stock convertible into common stock initially at 150% premium. Healthier Choices Management Corp announced today an equity capital raise through the sale in a private placement of $5 million of its Series D preferred stock to certain institutional investors. So they're a holding company focused on providing consumers with healthier daily choices with respect to nutrition and other lifestyle alternatives. What do they sell? This didn't give us much information. Starting with its wholly owned subsidiary, Healthy Choice Markets, HCMC owns both Ada's Natural Market, an 18,000 square foot full service grocery store serving Fort Myers, Florida, and 3 Paradise Health and Nutrition locations in greater Melbourne, Florida area. So it's like a grocery store chain? This is crazy to me that this has so much hype behind it. Serving their respective local communities, our stores provide all natural and organic products in a friendly, let's see. Okay, they also have 9 vape stores. I don't know why there's so much hype behind this. It's just like 4 grocery stores. No, 3 grocery stores. No. 3 of this brand, 1 of this brand. I don't know what's going on here, why this is so hyped up. This one does not make sense to me. Yeah, I don't know. It's gone up like a rocket for some reason. I mean, I've heard it mentioned every day that I've streamed. So I'm not entirely sure what exactly is happening here. A market cap of $168 million, and they have 9 vape shops and 4 grocery stores. I don't think that constitutes the value. I must be either missing something here or this is just randomly hyped up. Lawsuit speculation. There's like no news really except for the fact that they are announcing preferred shares. I don't know what's going on with that one. I think we're at 160,000 now. Yep, we passed 160,000. Thank you, everyone who subscribes. Someone asked, isn't that the store that went viral for old people not wearing masks? I mean, I searched the store name and I didn't even see, what was the name of their store? Let's see. Since we're curious, let's go back and see the name of that grocery store. Healthier Choices Management Corp. The only way to get to their website is by searching that. What was the name of their store? Ada's Natural Market. Okay, let's see if we can find news on this. Maybe this has some automated customer. What is this? The leader in automated customer experience enters 2021 better position than ever before to empower companies across all sectors to provide personalized customer experiences at scale through automated self-service. Okay. So this some kind of automated customer service experience, if this is the right Ada. I mean, I thought that was grocery stores. I think that must be someone else. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with this grocery store chain, why it's popping so much. So this person says HCMC is up because anything cannabis / hemp / vape related is up massively. Okay, that would make sense. But I mean, 9 vape stores, it's not even like they're that big, but you know, whatever. Who am I to say where the market should go? Do I think GameStop and AMC will rise? I think, yeah, ultimately. I think we're, kind of like that video we were watching, we're kind of in the pit of despair right now where many people, you know, saw this tanking. You know, some people are maybe in denial that it's even this low. But how much lower can it really get before there's some kind of rally? Because there's still a lot of popularity behind these. So you have to remember, yes, they could go, much lower, both AMC and GameStop, if there was no hype around them whatsoever, if we were just basing it off of solely, income of these companies. Yeah, the price would be much lower. But there's still a lot of hype and attention on these. So I think the odds of some kind of rally are pretty high in my opinion. Of course, that's not financial advice. All right, let's do some research on Sundial, since that is another highly requested stock. Let's see what the news is here. These cannabis stocks will make you forget about Sundial. This is what we want. Why is everyone talking about Sundial Growers stock? If I told you the internet is abuzz about an unprofitable marijuana company with sharply shrinking revenue and a stock price of about $1, you probably assume that chatter was about an impending bankruptcy. 9 times out of 10, you'd be right, but this is not true. Until recently, Sundial Growers was one of the lesser-known publicly traded cannabis cultivators. Now, after attracting the attention of a swarm of Reddit and Robinhood traders, the company's stock is growing explosively. In fact, its growth was so extreme that Robinhood limited purchases of the stock on January 28th for several days, though the restrictions have since been lifted. In my view, Reddit's fondness for Sundial is a bit overblown. Nonetheless, the company is in a much better position today than it was in the past. Why some traders love Sundial as a meme stock, heavily influenced by people online, and a conversation piece. Sundial's appeal isn't necessarily linked to its fundamentals. Instead, Reddit investors cite its low stock price, its popularity among young retail traders, and its presence in a growing market as reasons to buy. Okay. It's important to be a bit critical here, however. While it's true that some young investors like the stock, the fact that its price is low in absolute terms is not a valid reason to buy it. If you can buy a stock with your pocket change, you're typically going to get the value you paid for, not much. The market will price in expectations for growth, so low-cost shares aren't always the deal that they appear to be. Similarly, demand for cannabis in the U.S. is indeed growing. Actually, weed just became legal the other day in Arizona here, so I guess you can just walk into the store and buy some. Haven't tried it out yet, but interesting. But the company's position in Canada, the only place where it actually sells products, is the more important story. Sundial holds an estimated 3.3% share of the Canadian market for recreational marijuana. In 2020, its market share seemed to be slowly increasing, starting the stock's rapid run-up we're still seeing today. And an 80%, or wait, was it 80% for the day? What were we at? Or no, that's HCMC. Sundial. They're flat for the day so far. But don't heed to the dispensary to buy Sundial's. Don't head to the dispensary to buy Sundial's product and celebrate just yet. Competition in Canada is significant, and many larger and more popular companies are vying for control. If Sundial is going to become a power player, it's going to take a few more years of steady progress. And if it wants to take advantage of growing demand in the U.S., it'll need a strategy to enter the country first. I don't know. My opinion about Sundial, even before reading this article, is that with marijuana, we're going to see just a few companies, 1 or 2, maybe 3 companies, who become the top guys, the Budweiser, the Coors Light of marijuana, and then everyone after that will be the long tail of doing fine, but not doing these massive numbers. I'm not sure they're positioned to do that, Sundial Growers, but I could be wrong, because If enough people are buying in, this gives them more cash to play with. They could purchase competitors. They could do roll-ups. They would just have much more money to do rapid expansion. So by way of simply people buying and holding this, could turn this into the marijuana brand of choice, if you will. Let's see what else we can find on it. This says Sundial can easily double from current levels. Let's see what that is. For investors who purchased Sundial Growers stock in October 2020, returns have already been multi-fold. Sundial stock touched a low of 14 cents in the fourth quarter of 2020 and currently trades at $1.13. However, the big rally does not imply that Sundial stock is overvalued. With industry tailwinds coupled with positive business developments, I expect the stock to double from current levels. As I talk about Sundial Growers, which is a cannabis play, I'm reminded of NEO. Last year, NEO stock was trading at depressed levels and touched a low of $2.37 in March 2020. The stock currently trades at $58, which implies a 24 times return from its lows. Sundial stock surging by 8.5x in the recent past does not imply overvaluation. So here's the bull case for Sundial. In the recent past, Sundial Growers has been on a fundraising spree. The company recently announced the closing of a $100 million registered offering. This was followed by an additional funding raise of $74.5 million. With the closing of these two offerings, Sundial has $615 million in unrestricted cash. This provides the company with an ample cash buffer to pursue growth opportunities in the coming quarters. That's kind of what I was just talking about with the stock price as well. You know, with the stock price up 7.5x, they would get a bunch of cash from that as well, if they want to sell off a few shares. Let me also briefly talk about the cannabis product offering and growth triggers. Sundial is focused on premium cannabis products that include flower, pre-roll, vape, and oil. In the fourth quarter, the company collaborated with Chocolate, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, for a launch of cannabis-infused chocolate bars, drinking chocolate, and infused sugar. The key point from the portfolio perspective is focus on premium and branded products. For Q3 2020, branded net cannabis sales for the company were 77% of total sales. It's very likely that the sale of premium products will continue to increase. In the next few years, I expect a robust EBITDA margin. Sundial is also planning entry into medical cannabis. The company has 50% equity interest in Pathway RX, a licensing agreement letter that will enable Sundial to use certain cannabis strains for commercial production. The recent cash infusion is likely to accelerate the company's plan for the medical cannabis market. Coming back to recreational cannabis, Sundial reported the acquisition of 62 new genetics in Q3 2020. The company believes that some of the genetics are unique. This will help the development of new inhalable cannabis products. So in the third quarter, Sundial reported sales and marketing expenses that was higher by 120% on a year-on-year basis. With an ample cash buffer, the company will continue to ramp up brand investment. Further, the company increased commercial coverage across Alberta, Ontario, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. This is another factor for their latest quarterly results. Sundial's board of directors has authorized management and its external advisors to consider a broader range of strategic alternatives, including a potential sale of the company, merger with other business combination, investments in other Canadian cannabis companies. I think that's probably would be their best strategy, in my opinion. As well, this is all this hype on their brand. The stock price is jumping up. They go ahead and just do some roll-ups, buy competitors, and probably for relatively cheap prices, non-public competitors, and just start adding stores and brands. I would not be surprised if Sundial is a potential merger and acquisition candidate in the coming quarters. I would expect that shifting political preferences towards legalization in the U.S. and globally will kick off a flurry of consolidation in the cannabis industry. For now, they're just in Canada. So, I mean, maybe, yeah, I mean, the thing is, if the hype is there and the management is at least competent, I, of course, don't know anything about their management, then the deal can be done, you know. They can take all those funds and use them in smart ways to grow quickly. I'd have to do a little bit more research here. I mean, if you guys like me doing research on the live here, let me know. We can kind of make this more of the show, like, I guess, live streaming research, you know, one-on-one. Let me know if you enjoy that. I can do more and more research kind of stuff. I'm still getting used to this whole live business. Congrats on your win last night. Yeah, thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. Let's see. I guess there's some new short interest tweets by S3 partners. Let me pull these up real quick. Is the music still playing too? Let me see. No, it's not. Let me play some more music as well. What do we got here? No, we don't want Christmas music. All right. So we'll look up the latest S3 partners short interest data here. Let's see, Ihor Dusanowski. I actually did an interview with him. If you didn't see that, it's on my channel. Very, very helpful interview to understand what exactly is going on. Well, looks like the last tweet was on Friday. So actually, unless we can find, I don't think they have any data on here. No, I don't think they do. Unless S3 Partners has their own Twitter. Let me just search. Yeah, no, we don't have anything updated quite yet. Everything's from Friday still. But I'll leave that up just in case something changes. Let's look into, see if we can find out anything about Sundial Growers management. Hopefully everyone watching is 18. Does anyone ever pick their actual birthday on here? We're going 1921. Pretty clean looking website, but it also, I mean, it just looks like a website that you could make on Squarespace or something like that. I want to find out about their management team. Corporate presentation, investor resources. I mean, maybe I can try to get one of their higher ups to join in on an interview or something and see what exactly they have to say about their company and the growth. I might try and shoot them an email. You never know. Oh, here we go. Leadership. Zachary George. If we can find anything on him. Let's see here. Company profile. So Zachary Ryan George is a business person who founded Front 4 Capital Group LLC and who has been at the helm of 5 different companies. Currently holds the position of CEO at Sundial Growers and portfolio manager at Front 4 Capital Group. He's also on the board of Commonaire Real Estate Investment Trust and Trez Capital Mortgage Investment Corporation. So in his past career, Mr. George held the position of chairman at Slate Office REIT Analysis at Pirate Capital LLC. It sounds like he's a real estate guy, so that might actually be helpful in terms of roll-ups if they were to purchase competitors and locations. Maybe we can find a conference call. There should be records of these somewhere. This is 2019. Here we go, earnings report. Let's see if we can listen to this. I always like to listen to the management if possible. Why is it not? I guess all we're gonna have is a transcript. Sometimes they're saved where you can actually listen to them. So this is their third quarter 2020. I wonder if they have a fourth quarter. Let's just double check real quick. It looks like we don't have it yet. So this is from the CEO, Zach George. This is an unprecedented time. To date, Sundial has not experienced any material disruptions related to COVID-19 as we enter in the last month of 2020 and plan for the future. Some context and perspective may be helpful. The Canadian cannabis industry is complex and still in its infancy. We are just 2 years into legalization, and Sundial is about 22 months into commercial operations. Much of our competition has had a multi-year head start on Sundial. In a short time frame, kind of funny story, I went to a cannabis store in Canada 2 years ago, and so I guess that was right after it became legal, and the employees there had said that the owners had owned this cannabis store for like 20 years, despite the fact that it's only been legal for a very short period of time. And they were like, yep, they've been to prison, they just kept this store open, and now it's legal. So we're like the oldest cannabis store that's been operating. It's been operating for 20 years or something like that. Following a change in our management team and subsequent financial restructuring, we have drastically improved our operating practices, targeting a sustainable cost structure and a simplified, more focused business model. We entered 2020 with optimistic projections and severely challenged capital structure. We have since taken aggressive steps to de-risk our balance sheet through a combination of cash repayments, asset sales, and debt for equity swaps, a total CAD $100 million in total debt has been eliminated on a year-to-date basis. We've also reduced annualized cash debt service obligations by approximately 31 million Canadian dollars. In addition, we currently have approximately 60 million Canadian dollars in cash on hand and access to capital if required. So it looks like they're transitioning away from wholesale transactions. Sundial has repositioned itself to better capitalize on the current market environment. These initiatives will be discussed in more detail by Jim momentarily. I'm reading a call transcript, by the way, so if it sounds a little bit weird, that's why. Why did our revenue decline this quarter? There are several reasons. First, cannabis consumer preferences are evolving, but they are currently biased towards high THC potency. Heck yeah. We have let me make this full screen. We have had to rapidly adapt our cultivation processes to meet these demands over the last 6 months. However, the potency results this past quarter did not meet our standards for Sundial's brands on a consistent basis. Another marginal factor was destocking the provincial board level as inventory management practices evolve. A third driver was our underestimation of weeks on hand inventory on certain SKUs and select customers, which resulted in smaller reorders in the quarter as we continue to move through our inventory depletion. So they're kind of in the middle of a transition, restructuring some debt, getting some more financing, going away from wholesaling products, trying to bump up potency of their THC products. Seems maybe like they're focusing more on retail and brands. Sundial is focused on delighting customers as preferences evolve in the Canadian cannabis market. So yeah, they're only in Canada right now. Obviously, they would need to go into the US if they're really trying to blow up. But in Canada, it's totally legal. So I guess it makes sense to start there. So here we have some info on the call from the CFO. Company issued 121.9 million common shares for net proceeds of 45 million Canadian dollars under this program. So they saw a decline in revenue in the most recent completed quarter of 36% compared to the previous quarter, I think due to taking the foot off the gas on that wholesaling. We did continue to achieve success in our focus on establishing branded sales, which comprised 77% of total net revenue, up 8% from the second quarter. Up from 8%. No, up 8% from the second quarter, sorry. Cash used from operations, not including changes in non-cash working capital, financing, and investing activities, decreased 63%. Not including. So they're really just trying to figure out their systems, it seems, both on inventory, cost control. It's a tough one, really. Again, I just have to go back to, they're not the biggest player in the market, but if there's a ton of popularity behind their stock, this could give them enough money to allow to figure out most of their problems, hire the people they need to hire, pay off additional debt, perform some roll-ups. So here we have some questions. First, just wondered if you could quantify, as you mentioned, that this October was short, or was sort of the highest average THC you achieved. Can you quantify what that range was? Over our last 12 months, but we're seeing products consistently now launch above kind of the 9.5% to 20% range on all of our cultivators. Or cultivars. You call that one of the factors to the sequential sales decline of provinces sort of adjusting their inventory management and ordering. I think we've heard others mention that, though it sounded like this adjustment is how they ordered, becoming smaller orders but more frequently sort of happened a while ago. So I guess I'm not fully understanding how that sort of impacted your Q3. My first one has to do with your shelf space and your outlook for being able to preserve that. It strikes me that with inability to fulfill, even if they're smaller, the provincial level, plus some cultivation that wasn't coming into your standards from a potency perspective, it seems like perhaps the dialogue that you're having with the provinces is probably not all that constructive if you have to continue to apologize for misses there. So where does your shelf space stand today, and what is your outlook for your shelf space? Shelf space is obviously a battle, and we're conscious about it. We've had a good market share growth over the latest 52 weeks. As I mentioned in the opening, we've seen that a little something inaudible, it says, over the last 13 weeks. So look, what are we going to do about it? I think the key thing, as we mentioned, starts with cultivation. So we've addressed a lot of these areas specifically to ensure we have a more consistent kind of high potency. So it seems like one of the problems is simply not having enough product. What kind of sales are we looking at here? $57 million in sales. Net income of negative $204 million. Obviously, they're trying to do some rapid expansion. So, of course, any bet in this is, in fact, a bet. You know, you can't base any price off of earnings because there's negative earnings. There's no such thing as a P to E ratio when there's no earnings. And what is their market cap? Oof, $1.59 billion market cap. I'm just not sure if that's justified with $53 million in sales. Doesn't seem like a billion-dollar company to me. So an investment in this is really more an investment in the hype train, I would think, in order to really eke that value out of the $1.5 billion valuation. I think it'd be a real long-term buy. You know, we would have to see profits in the, I don't know, $100 million range to really start paying that off cash flow wise. But that's not to say that the price can't shoot up from then. I mean, it's only $1.11 per share right now. But let's check in how these are doing. AMC down 12.3% today. GameStop down 7.3%. Based on what I read so far, I'm not totally enthusiastic about Sundial, just given their size, their market value. I mean, it's gone up. Let's see. I guess it's already been at these levels before, so it hasn't really necessarily gone up a crazy amount since its highs. In the last short period, it's gone up significantly. Last Last month especially, it's doubled. So I guess getting in isn't necessarily getting in after, crazy returns have already been received. But the $1.5 billion valuation just seems a bit extreme to me. I just don't get the idea that this is a $1 billion company. Someone bought $2 worth of Sundial. Yeah, just to ride the ride. That's never a bad idea. Just so you can be part of it. I don't know, maybe that $2 will turn into $3 someday. Now HCMC is up 187% today. Are you kidding me? That is just wild. This volume is kind of crazy too for how small they are. I mean, they literally have 4 grocery stores and 9 vape stores. This is just nuts. Let's see what their market cap is. Oh yeah, it was $168 million. I mean, 9 vapes. It's just... That seems insane to me. Because it's a good time to be a public company having anything to do with vaping or weed. That is just insanity. $0.10 music entertainment. Yeah, let's see. What does isn't Tencent like a huge company? I mean, none of these are brands that get used in the United States, I don't think. With any company in China, it's hard to completely believe what exactly is going on. In the company, we don't know what the level of involvement is of the Chinese government on any of this stuff. $42 billion market cap. Five-year trend looks great. Net income climbing. Earnings per share growth looks great as well. P/E ratio of 76. Just to put it in perspective, for value investments, I typically look for between 5 and 15. So just based on that, seems overvalued. So again, any bet in this is a bet that they're going to grow by a huge margin. And to grow a company worth $42 billion by a huge margin is a lot harder than growing a company that's worth $500 million or $1 billion by a huge margin. I've definitely heard of Tencent before, just in relation to it being a huge Chinese company. But yeah, none of their brands were any brands that I've actually heard of before. Just got an email in that looks kind of interesting, so let me pull that up. Oh, we don't want to see that. Me and me. Nobody wants that. Let's see here. So I just got sent this email. It's titled "Someone bought 13.2% of GME?" question mark. So let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. I haven't obviously had time to dive in yet. So this is some kind of SEC.gov data. Does it have a date and time on it? Let's see. Reporting person, FMR LLC. Reporting person, Fidelity Series Intrinsic Opportunities Fund. Yeah, that's almost my last name. This is what my ancestors' last name was before they dropped the E and the G. What is this FMR LLC? Oh, it's Fidelity. So okay, here's your answer. Fidelity Management just took a little bit of digging. Where are we here? February 5th. Fidelity Management is FMR LLC. Yes, they own 13.3-ish%, 9.2 million shares of GameStop. But unfortunately, this isn't a new thing because you can see September 30th, 2020, Fidelity Management and Research, they already, what did I just do? Oh, there it is. They already own over 13% of the company, so there's not really a change there. Shares held. There we go. So they're the largest shareholder. BlackRock owns 12.17%. That's interesting as well. Let's do AMC ownership summary. Oh yeah, the music. Let's try lounge. You see BlackRock is the largest owner of AMC as well. We got Vanguard, which they own pretty much everything. I'll be really curious to see the updated filings with these to see additional positions or sales potentially. Is there any one person who owns? This might be a person. D.E. Shaw. Person owns a lot, or I don't know if it's a person or a company. Okay, so it's some kind of hedge fund or something. Investment firm. They own a lot of very popular companies, popular stocks that, you know, Plug Power, we've seen that one a lot. Neo. What's my opinion on AMC? Well, I have 306 shares that are currently down 45% or something like that. I'm still holding. We're in $5 range now. We're not seeing a tank. It really just depends on interest. I guess what we need to do is go onto social media and see, you know, what the interest is of AMC. Are people still talking about it? Interesting music. How often do I end up buying stocks you hear about on stream? Well, I'm very new to streaming. I mean, last week was really like the first time I've ever done streaming. So I guess maybe I could talk about this a little bit. I've been trying to think what to do stock and investing wise as far as streams go to make it more like interesting. What I was thinking of doing is potentially, you know, maybe streaming a few times a week with investment type stuff like this. And maybe every time I stream, you know, we do a bit of research and I buy like $100 worth of, you know, some stock that we research on the stream. And then over time, you know, I'll just have one portfolio literally just for stocks that I bought on the stream. And then over time, you know, you can kind of follow and see the growth of that. Or if it goes down, see exactly how it's doing. Just an idea that I was kind of tossing around because, of course, the craze with AMC and GameStop aren't going to last forever. But there's always, you know, different companies to talk about. Yeah, I like the idea of like brainstorming streams, and you know, we could I could invite other people, you know, to join streams, other YouTubers, other knowledgeable people, ask about what they're investing into, and then you know, we'd make little investments like live on YouTube. Would be my idea. Can I teach us the do's and don'ts of investing? Well, the majority of my portfolio is very long term investing. Actually, up until last week, I realized I had never sold a stock. I had only bought stocks and just let them sit in my account, just because my entire intention always was just to buy and hold for as long as possible. So it really depends on your strategy. You know, the long-term value type investments are always going to be the way to go long term. In the short term, you know, maybe something like HCMC is going to go up another 400%, and that, you know, that's a great short-term buy. I'm not sure why, because they have 4 grocery stores and 9 vape stores, unless I'm missing something here. Well, now it's up 100%. So it went from up 180% to up 100%. But you know, anyways, I think just value investing is the best long term, but you know, you can base things on hype short term and make some money as well. What kind of investor do I consider myself? Definitely long-term value investor. Someone asked if I would rather lose my hair or my stock portfolio. I'd way rather lose my hair. No question. My favorite long-term stock. The one that I most recently bought was Tyson Foods. So I would like to see how long-term, or how good that'll be long-term. I think it'll do extremely well. One that's done really well for me this year is Steve Madden Shoes, which I haven't heard anyone else invest in. Put a good chunk of change into Steve Madden Shoes this year, right at the bottom of the market. I literally purchased, I think, on the very lowest day. No, I think it was actually on the 19th. Yeah, so I purchased on the 19th of March, right around $19 a share, and it's up to 37. And this was a pure value investment purchase. Now, this kind of purchase doesn't come around very often because this was right when the pandemic hit and everything was going down, but they had zero debt. Their inventory ratios looked awesome. They have a sustainable brand. And I was like, okay, this is a good deal. So I purchased some on this day, and it's doing quite well. Another call I made during the pandemic times was Winnebago. And I actually did a video on this because I texted like a bunch of my friends and said, you need to take a look at Winnebago because I think it's going to be a really good buy. And looking at this, I have texts literally from the day it was the lowest. So it was at $28 to like friends of mine saying, you got to look at Winnebago. And within 2 months, it'd gone up to $70, like $20 to $70, 3.5x in like 2 months. Of course, a lot of stocks went up in this period, but 300% or whatever. And they were in a similar, strong financial position, strong marketplace position. But I really liked my investment into Steve Madden Shoes. You think GME will be the greatest short squeeze of all time once it bounces up to 2,000 a share? I think it would definitely make it the greatest of all time. Has anyone been buying Steve Madden, or not Steve Madden, has anyone been buying AMC this morning on this dip? Let me know if you bought some more shares this morning. The real troopers are still saying buy the dip. Down another 11.8%. Yikes. Average down, a bunch of people averaging down. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, how much lower can this go? really just fascinated by this HCMC. Now it's back up to 134% on the day, which is crazy. That's a wild day it's been having. From, what even is that? At 0.2 of a penny up to 4, almost 5, half a penny, down to 0.3 of a penny, back up to 0.4 of a penny. I don't know why there's so much hype on that one. It's so funny. Let's see what's going on over on WallStreetBets just for a second here. Where is, let's do hot posts. Check out the mega thread. GME and AMC charts look the same. So many people think that this is conspiracy. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think there's like some, conspiracy behind why the charts look the same, or is it just simply the same buyers and sellers? I mean, I think it's just the same buyers and sellers. Been broke before, I'll go broke again. I'm just hope for the sake of all the people who bought in at $250, $300, $350 for GameStop, it goes up at least once more again. Yeah, this is getting true. Up in the pre-market, immediately shooting downwards at open. Yeah, just getting used to it at this point. I'm so disassociated from the $1,300 that I'm down. Yeah, not much going on there. So it looks like BlackBerry was very mentioned yesterday, more so than AMC. Let's check out the Google Trends and see. See the popularity of everything. Let's add in Sundial. Yeah, oh, it only lets us do that. Okay. Sundial almost has as much popularity as, or it's actually tied with Nokia. Well, there you go there. AMC is actually creeping up to GameStop on popularity. It's gone from about the 70s to now 100. And you can see by the state graph here, like most states have the highest popularity of AMC. But popularity is definitely dwindling. You know, we're down 13 or so % from the top popularity as an estimate anyways. I hope that's a matter of just buying and holding. Okay, yeah, let's replace that and add Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, oh, let me scroll up, sorry. Bitcoin at about 2.5 times less popularity than GameStop right now. Let's throw in a Dogecoin. I'll take out knock. Dogecoin. Dogecoin more popular than Bitcoin for a short period of time. How crazy is that? Twice as searched. Nearly in levels with AMC. Now most of those have gone down through the estimate for today. Let's put in, remove this. HCMC. Now HCMC is tiny relative. But there's still lots of interest. Only time will tell. Interest here is primarily in Bitcoin. No update here. Go check out my interview with him on my channel. If you haven't seen it already, very informative and helpful. And if you're holding AMC, you're probably going to like that interview. Still down 10.5%. Got some buying pressure going on here, though. Pretty good volume, too. Okay, we got some buying. Might get us out of a small hole. A lot of volume here. 3.1 million in volume. I mean, there's going to have to be 20 million additional shares bought in order to even recover for today. Oh, I'm not sad. I'm doing okay. I don't know, maybe we'll see a little bit of a rally here. Oh, we got some more selling. Never mind. There's a lot of resistance that we need to go through in order to break even for many people here. Yeah, this platform is Webull. If you want to open an account, you can use that pinned comment. If you so please, you'll get a couple free stocks. Yeah, I'm definitely envious of the people who bought in AMC at $2, $3, $4. What are we thinking? I guess we're still holding. At least I'm still holding. At this point, I have no reason not to just keep on holding and see if there's a turnaround. And luckily, I invested an amount of money that if I lose, I'm not happy about it, but you know, we'll survive. It's fine. And I just figure, very worst case, I just hold for a very long time. And eventually it'll make it up. Also, if you're new here, make sure you're subscribed. We're doing lots of stock streams. I do videos every single day on news and finance. You're not going to regret subscribing. Chances are, if you subscribe, you'll earn extra money because you're subscribing and watching this content. It would just sure be nice to see a green day for good old AMC, wouldn't it? Someone says they saw me at Safeway. When was this? Xavier? I guess I'm kind of tall. Oh, we just broke negative 9% for a brief second here. You know, it's a rough day when that's progress. Lots of buying going on here. You can see the buy orders on this column. Do we still have music playing? Yeah. Yeah, pretty slow here. I had never received a final update on the Tarzan painting. I'll have to email them and say, hey, what's the update? Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat, Hussam. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I never realized how many people would appreciate the mellow, chill stock stream, but here we are. I guess ASMR stock stream without, I don't know how it is, but anyways. We're down into the 9s. Now we're back into the 10, negative 10%. What do I think it's going to reach by Friday? You know, I really want to see what these updated short percentages are before I make any guesses. I'm just really curious how accurate these estimations are. We might not know the short percentages until Wednesday morning if they're required to come out tomorrow after close. Where did HCMC back down to plus 100%? It's been a wild ride today on that one. This Zomedica Corp also up 25% today so far. And Nexi Innovations up 11% today. You saw me at Safeway on 7th Street and Glendale. Huh. When did you see me there? I mean, if I've been there, it's been a long time. Need to find some eye candy that has Kramer personality. I don't know, it's probably doable. I guess it's something we could try out. Don't know if we have enough space over here, but... Problem is you need eye candy who also knows about investments. I guess that could be the show too, where if they don't know anything about investments, and it's kind of like, this is how this works. Yeah, this is AMC that we have up right now. Still down 10.5% for the day. GameStop down 6%. A little bit of buy action going on recently. This could be interesting. Check out Hot Stocks Built-in School that scrapes social media for emerging stocks. Yeah, that could be definitely interesting to do some due diligence. Let's check out Hot Stocks. Analysis and opinion on IDEX. Let's just check this out real quick. I think we pulled this one up very briefly the other day. I won't forget about Hot Stocks. I'll look into that in a second. Ideanomics is a financial technology company that was founded in 2017 by Bruno Wu. Let's see. Shares of Ideanomics rose 94.5% in January, according to data. But why? They've announced that they've signed an agreement to acquire wireless advanced vehicle electrification in a joint cash and stock deal. Wave is a provider of wireless charging for EVs. Ideanomics Mobile Energy Global segment primarily revolves around EV battery technology and has a heavy focus on the Chinese market. The company's fintech services business remains at even earlier growth stage, but could emerge as a performance driver if it can tap into the overall industry momentum. I always think acquisitions are a good thing as long as, of course, they're good acquisitions. But I like seeing companies who are making acquisitions, because I think if it's done right, it's the cheapest way to see massive growth. As long as there's some synergy there, maybe they're able to consolidate back offices, increase profit margins that way, get into new markets. A lot of times it's very cheap to do these roll-ups. They have a market cap of $2 billion. Market cap of $2 billion, reported $10 million in third quarter sales. I mean, that is crazy to me. I don't know when this is going to stop being so crazy to me, these wild valuations. I mean, I know people who have companies with basically this much in sales. And if I told them, hey, there's a company who has as much sales as you, and their company is worth $2 billion, they would laugh at you straight in your face. I mean, with this valuation, let me do some math real quick. We got another super chat. This was probably already asked, but if the short report on AMC tomorrow is high, will it spike after hours and Wednesday like it did 2 weeks ago? I would say, yeah, it will if it's a high report. I can almost certainly say it's going to be lower than the last report, but where exactly it's going to be, we don't know, for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if it was around 70 or 80% for AMC. But let me go back into this valuation thing. So, $2 billion valuation on $10 million in sales. What would the equivalent? Let's see. I'm using my calculator down here if you're wondering what I'm doing. $6 million. Okay. So it's a multiple of 1,886,000. So quarterly sales. Okay, to put this in perspective, Sorry, that calculation took longer than I expected. My calculator on my phone doesn't have enough zeros, so I had to do some mental math too. But anyways, a valuation of $2 billion on $10 million in sales would be equivalent. I own a business as well. I own a moving and storage business. And that would be equivalent to my moving and storage business, just based on sales and the ratio of their sales. My moving and storage business would be worth $296 million. And I can tell you with certainty, it's not worth $296 million. So that's just using the same multiple for sales to valuation. That's how Kylie Jenner calculates the worth of her companies. She does like 40, 50x earnings. All right, we're gonna look at hot stocks. So let me pull that up. Every time I hear a commercial about gambling addictions, I want to call the number and ask if the stock market counts. I'd be pretty sure it does count. There we go, Reddit. So here we have hot stocks on Reddit. I think this is the right one. Maybe not. This kind of looks like a dub or a dead sub here. I'll see if I can find out for sure. Or was it? I think it was top stocks, wasn't it? Was it hot stocks or top stocks? Let me know. So I guess it's like a dead subreddit. Seems like a good idea, but we need some content in there. Hot underscore stocks. Okay, let's see. Here it is. Okay, thank you very much for that. Hot underscore stocks. All right. 3 hours ago, Hot Stock Monday. DermTech. A molecular diagnostics company that develops and markets non-invasive diagnostic tests to diagnose skin cancer. DMTK already has received blessing from the National Comprehensive Cancer Network. This is the gold standard in the industry when it comes to patient care and clinical best practices. DMTK estimates their current PLA product plus additional pipeline products will address at least a $10 billion market. 2021 will be their first full year of commercialization with more product launches. Telehealth model to be unveiled this year. Investors are starting to take notice with the stock up 3x over the last 3 months. DMTK has already raised an additional $140 million in January, so you shouldn't have to worry about another stock offering for the next 3 to 6 months. Company is currently valued at $1.5 billion. It went up 30% over the last 5 days and 40% in the last month. There's some potential short-term losses if you invest right now. However, still looks like an interesting long-term play. Okay, that's interesting. Here's the second hot stock for today. European Metals. Operates the Sinovac lithium project, the largest lithium resource in Europe. Okay, so this definitely has a battery play. European Metals partner with and supported by several major energy companies, state entities, valuation institutes, and green energy funds. Here's a list. CEZ, a multi-billion-dollar state-owned leader in power generation and distribution. So they have some huge corporate and governmental holders. Okay, so the percentage, this +% that we see on the top here, is the percentage increase in mentions. My Python script scans Reddit and Twitter for stock tickers and then finds out about the number of mentions they each generate. The percentage increase of a ticker is indicative of the increase in discussion/mentions based on a week-on-week analysis. But what if a stock has like 1 mention and then 5 mentions? And it's still not super popular, but you know, it went up 5x. I guess that's up 25% for the day. This is interesting though. I'm gonna join. Be kind of fun to just trade those stocks a few times and just see gains or losses. I can turn up my volume a little bit here. I just never want to blow out the volume because that can happen pretty easily too. Alrighty, I think that this is going to do it for today on this live stream. I got a lot of work I need to get to, so thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Like this stream if you enjoyed it and you're already subscribed. And I'll be back later this week with some more live streams and maybe figure out some kind of potential strategy going forward, like a consistent thing. Maybe we make a few purchases every single live stream or something like that and make it a little bit more interesting. So thanks for tuning in. And I hope you have a profitable day.